Welcome to the taping of the Urban Entrepreneur Weekly Report. Hello, my name is C. Sonny Martin, and I'm the founder and also one of the senior partners right here at the Urban Entrepreneur Center located in Columbus, Ohio. The Urban Entrepreneur Weekly Report is Central Ohio's only weekly report dialogue dedicated to supporting the growth and development of our small business and entrepreneur community here in Central Ohio. Each week our goal is to give you news you can use and feature some inspiring interviews with some of the area's most successful small business owners, entrepreneurs, and those service providers that support the advancement, the growth, and development of our small business community. Later in the show, you'll meet today's in-studio guest, Mr. George Zarepski. We met George not long ago as we were seeking to get connected to various small business and entrepreneur networking groups here in the city. George is a retired military veteran, having retired from the United States Air Force, who is a serious process and IT guy. George is passionate about entrepreneurship and networking. We're going to be chopping it up with him in just a few minutes. Hello, folks. We're delighted that the good folks over at Byers Imports are sponsors for the Urban Entrepreneur Weekly Report. The Byers family has been serving Central Ohio for over 120 years. Byers Imports is located in Whitehall on Hamilton Road, right out by the airport. And you need to know this. There is no better place to buy a Volkswagen in Columbus, Ohio than at Byers Volkswagen. The Byers family experience is a better experience for you. So if you're looking for a Volkswagen, come out and see why it's better at Byers Imports. You'll also find that they have Audi, Subaru, Porsche, and many luxury pre-owned vehicles as well. Go out and check them out today by the airport, and you can shop online at buyersimports.com. So as promised today, I told you we had an in-studio guest. It's good to have George Zarepski in our studios today at the Urban Entrepreneur Center. Cups. Tell me what 1 Million Cups is all about.
Yeah, sure. So 1 Million Cups is a nationwide program.
Okay.
It's designed to educate, engage, and accelerate early stage startups. So
Gotcha.
anyone that just has an idea all the way up to like 5 years in the business. And so we believe that entrepreneurs can discover solutions and thrive when they collaborate over 1 million cups of coffee. And so there's the term.
Oh, 1 million cups of coffee. Okay, gotcha.
And so it's created by the Kauffman Foundation in 2012. It's part of their mission to educate and then help entrepreneurs as well. And so this is the entrepreneurial portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 188 organizations throughout the U.S. We're one of the newest. We're like the third newest now, but it just started here in July of last year.
When you say 180 organizations throughout the U.S., you mean 100 other organizations that are doing a 1 Million Cups, their weekly meetup of entrepreneurs to exchange ideas?
That's right. That's
storytelling, that sort of thing?
Right. So in 188 other cities,
okay, gotcha.
Every Wednesday, entrepreneurs are meeting, or people with ideas or vision are meeting over a cup of coffee to share their idea with the community and get feedback from them.
A couple of years ago, I stumbled on the Kauffman Foundation. They started out on the West Coast, I believe.
Kansas City.
Kansas City. And they're one of the largest foundations that are engaged in the space and of engaging entrepreneurs and entrepreneurship. They've got some programs that I know that are going in schools, but this is 1 Million Cups idea and concept. How long has it been in existence?
7 years now, since
7 years.
2012.
Yeah, I think it's a phenomenal idea. So locally here in Columbus, Ohio, there's a chapter here. You're the director of community engagement, or
That's right. So I'll tell you a quick story
Okay.
of how that came to be.
right.
So when we were going through our program in North Dakota, I was actually living in Alaska. So the other two founders were in North Dakota and Minot still. And through the North Dakota Development Fund that was helping us with the idea and the business.
kind of incubator.
It's kind of an incubator. They exposed us to 1 Million Cups. They said you should go out here, pitch your idea, get feedback from the community. So we had gone to Fargo, which is the largest 1 Million Cups, and Bismarck, and pitched there. And that's where my first exposure to 1MC came from.
Okay.
Then in 2016, we joined the 1 in a Million competition. So this was a competition where they took 400 businesses. All you had to do was present at some point at any 1 Million Cups. And 400 were selected. From that, it was whittled down to the top few for a grant. So we made it to 6th place.
Wow.
And funny
That's
enough,
extraordinary. Out of 400.
Out of 400.
That's
so
amazing.
Quite a bit, yeah. But out of the funny part is, out of the the first place winner was actually in Anchorage, Alaska, where I was living.
Oh, wow. What a
So it
coincidence.
was called Pandora Shoes. So
Uh-huh.
I actually went out to the 1 Million Cups they were hosting there, kind of got engaged in the community, and just visited as an attendee to each one.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, naturally, when I knew I was moving to Columbus, I looked to see if there was a chapter here.
Mhm.
There wasn't at the time. So
Oh,
I was
wow.
looking in May of last year.
Okay.
But by the time I got here, Steve Flaherty, who is the lead organizer for our organization in Columbus,
Here in Columbus, Ohio. Okay.
he had just started it. I started attending each one, and also in December, as fate would have it, things converged, and Steve asked if I would mind joining to be an organizer, and I jumped at the opportunity.
So had you known Steve previously and
I
maybe
did not.
somewhere else?
I did
He was
not,
just here in
no,
Columbus,
he was
Ohio.
just here, right? Yeah.
So, I mean, it's an incredible idea. It's not like a weekly Shark Tank or anything of that nature, from what I understand. It's an opportunity where entrepreneurs come together and network with each other, and someone else is able to present their business and maybe some challenges they have in the business, and folks, chime in and ask them questions and find out a little bit more about the
Yeah,
business.
that's right. It's
Maybe
really-
offer some advice.
Yeah, it's really low stress. I mean, all the way to the point where if someone just has an idea, the organizers, it's our job.
Mhm.
And Kaufman does this through their website as well, give them resources to help build their presentation.
Gotcha.
But it's our job to help mentor them.
Mhm.
A presentation isn't necessary, like a slide deck.
Okay.
They could just get up and talk. So our format is 6 minutes of the presenter talking about themselves, what they're trying to do or what they're doing, and where they're trying to go. Just 6 minutes, and then 20 minutes of Q&A with the audience members. And so the audience consists of college students, business owners, VCs, you name it.
Mhm.
And with that, the goal is to get the ideas and the entrepreneurship spirit flowing. And then we don't drop them off there. We'll still work with them to help point them in the right direction to whatever type of resources. As you know, in Columbus, there's a lot of resources
Mhm.
in the Columbus area for entrepreneurship.
Yeah, really in a good space. Columbus has become the second largest city in the Midwest. It's the fastest growing city in the Midwest. And just in the last 3 years, 4 years, you've got multiple entrepreneur centers.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the New Albany, Innovate New Albany. You've got the city of Delaware. It's got
Yeah.
Entrepreneur Center.
Deco.
Okay, and then the Dublin's got one. And of course, we're right here at the Urban Entrepreneur Center. We're in what we call an opportunity zone.
Mm-hmm.
An opportunity zone is kind of a tax incentive area where people make investments here. They're able to get some tax benefits without
Mm-hmm.
making investments in this particular area. But the Million Cups of Coffee idea of bringing entrepreneurs together on a weekly basis, kind of like you said, over Cups of Coffee, there's no fee.
There's no fee. It's absolutely free.
It's free.
It's not
There's
a
no
pitch like Shark Tank.
membership.
There's no membership.
There's no membership, that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
It blows people's minds.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
say, well, where's the catch? The catch
Right.
is the rising tide will raise all the boats.
Yeah, that's important. And, I'm old enough to remember when the term networking became really hot. You hadn't heard of it. Everybody was like networking. There's 2 words to the word networking: net and working. So entrepreneurs, small business people, or even those that are looking to climb up the corporate ladder, you need to be in a place where there's a group of folks there that are like-minded folks. That's the net over these people. And then you enter the group, you learn, you listen, and you network with other like-minded folks. You can help and assist them with resources you may have, contacts you may
Right,
have,
right.
questions you may have about, their business, this, that, and the other. And it's a mutual exchange. And folks should enter these environments with the first ability to listen.
Yes.
It's not like, hi, my name is Sonny Martin, and I've got this, that, and the other, and what are you doing now? Here's why you need my service and my
Right,
product,
right.
this, that, and the other.
Right.
And some folks who are not, well schooled in the art of networking don't really understand the dynamic of it all to be able to get the best ROI on it. It's about relationship building more than
It is.
anything else.
It
Is that
and,
right?
and it's sharing the mistakes you made,
Mhm.
the successes you
Mhm.
had, in a way to educate, right? So it's the difference between knowledge and wisdom. You've mentioned before, plenty of business teachers have never owned a business. right?
Yeah, I
So
mean,
they're
there's a
teaching.
lot of college professors teaching entrepreneurship who not only never had any employees, never negotiated a commercial lease, and never really own the business themselves.
Right.
They're
so,
teaching in
so
theory.
me as a student, if I want to learn something,
Right.
truly learn it, I'd rather talk to someone like you who has the wisdom. You've done it. You've failed. You succeeded. You've crossed the whole spectrum. I'd rather talk to you than talk to someone that's just going to teach me principle. Right?
Yeah.
So,
or theory or
theory.
something.
That's my
hypotheticals and all that sort
Right,
of thing.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I had for a long period of time. I kind of felt a certain way and felt inadequate because I didn't have a college degree. I left college my junior year to enter into the broadcast industry. And I kind of really felt inadequate for a lot of periods of my time in life. I'm dealing with major corporate clients and things of that nature, and they'd always ask you, where'd you go to school at?
Right.
And where'd you graduate from? Those are two different questions, right? But having a thirst for knowledge, the thing that freed me in my mind was that a tremendous amount of millionaires and billionaires and very successful folks never had and never obtained a 4-year college degree. Matter of fact, the United States Department of Education states that 44% of the majority population has a college degree, 20% of African Americans, 22% of African Americans have a college degree. So in both scenarios, the majority of the population does not have a 4-year degree. It does not mean that they're not highly educated.
Right.
When you look at the folks like Bill Gates and Steve Jobs and Mark Zuckerberg and the guy that started Best Buys, and there's a slew of folks. I think I've made a list of almost 100 millionaires and billionaires that never got a 4-year degree.
Wow.
However, they had a passion, they had a thirst for knowledge to be able to learn as much as they can and gain as many skills as they could, as much skills as they could, to do this, to do this business.
Right.
I want one day to own my restaurant, so I'm going to start working in a restaurant. So it's on-the-job training sort of thing. What a million cups of coffee represents to me, when you bring all these entrepreneurs together, everybody's in a different lane, everybody's got different purpose and passion, and maybe in a different business model.
Right.
But yet still, even though they're different, they're vastly different, there's some common denominators that everybody can relate to.
Absolutely.
Paying the payroll, negotiating the lease, being able to scale and market and brand your business. Those are some of the things
So, you just open a can of worms.
Okay.
Emotional worms. So, from a young age, when I mean a young adult age, when I joined the military and started seeing more of the world, I realized that there was a lot more out there than the 5-mile radius.
Yeah.
It just made it real. And I always felt like I wanted to go back home and show the kids back home that there was more out there. Over the years, that desire transformed as I matured, and I realized you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
Absolutely.
Not everybody wants to change. Not everybody wants to do better.
and not everybody wants to own a business.
Not everybody wants to own a business, but there are those that do. So I want to make myself available to those people that do. How do I do that? And so 1 Million Cups was the perfect conduit to be able to do that. And furthermore, the Urban Entrepreneur Center here puts me in the neighborhoods that I want to be near to be able to help share these resources. But you were mentioning percentages, and I just, this sounds like a plug more on Kauffman Foundation, but just to give you a little bit of stats on something that they've identified. And they also have a big research firm where they do a lot of stats as well. So remember, their goal
the
is
Kauffman Foundation is a serious $1 billion foundation.
Billions
am I
of
correct?
dollars, yes.
$1 billion foundation
Yeah.
that's engaged in this area of entrepreneurship.
Right. So they've identified that greater than 81% of entrepreneurs do not have access to bank loans or venture capital.
80%.
Greater than 81% do not have access to money other than what they bring with them.
That sounds familiar.
Right? 1% of venture capital dollars went to African American and Latino founders.
1%.
1% of all VC. And this is 2016 numbers, okay? So just 3 years ago. Less than 2% of VC dollars went to women founders.
What percentage?
Less than 2% went to women.
Less than
founders.
2% went to women.
Yeah.
Yet still today, women are the fastest growing segment of small business owners in America.
So they know this, right? So
Okay.
here's Marion Kauffman. I want to read what he said because I felt like this is what
Please
really,
do.
really triggered
Resonated
me.
with you.
When I was asked to be an organizer for the foundation, for the organization, I didn't really understand it fully. So I went and did more research since I was going to be tying my name to it. And so this is something that Kauffman said. He said, "We believe that everyone has a fundamental right to take an idea and turn it into an economic reality, regardless of who they are or where they're from, without any barriers to prevent them to do it. He said he wanted to help young people, especially in underserved and disadvantaged communities, be able to achieve their goals, get a quality education, and enable them to reach their full potential. He saw that building enterprise was one of the most effective ways to realize individual promise and spur the economy. So what he's saying is, entrepreneurs, people that could own and start businesses, was by far the best way to raise the economy, to spur the economy in the community.
And that's on that's right in sync with some of the research that I've done in recent years that has really had me, more committed to this mission of helping to raise a new generation of urban entrepreneurs. And I thought I was a great marketing savvy guy that came up with this moniker, urban entrepreneurs. And those of us that are older than me know that the word urban used to mean the hood, the black community, the inner city, where people stayed away from, because everybody else flew to the suburbs. But today, the word has over-indexed itself. You've got a chain of Urban Outfitters, which is a clothing store in all major malls throughout the country that is not African American owned or minority owned. You have urban living is hot today. People are leaving the suburbs and coming back for urban living. I passed the urban chiropractic office, urban coffee shop.
Right.
Urban is like a real hot buzzword right now. However, what I found drilling a little bit deeper, did you know that Harvard University and Rutgers University have been studying this lane, this field that they've defined as urban entrepreneurship since the beginning of the 1990s.
Wow.
And I thought that was really intriguing. Rutgers University has an actual center for urban entrepreneur studies, an urban entrepreneur center. And when you read about, the white papers from Harvard and their research around urban entrepreneurship, they just simply define it as individuals who start businesses in unconventional ways, who may not necessarily have the college degree, but they use a sense of street smarts, understanding how to fill a void in the community, to fill that void with their leadership capacity. And they often bootstrap themselves, don't have a whole lot of money, but they figure it out. And I tell people all the time that being a small business owner doesn't necessarily mean you're an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is a French word. And what it basically defines is someone that's doing something different, innovative than had been previously done. If I own a pizza shop, I'm a small business owner that owns a pizza shop. But if I'm doing something totally different and innovative in the way I'm making my pizza, which LeBron James has done with the Blaze Pizza, which is the fastest growing restaurant chain in the history of restaurants in the United States, where you go in and you pick out what you want right there, they put it in the oven in 5 minutes, you got the pizza in your hand. It's different, it's quicker, it's faster, and it gives the customer the opportunity, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want that. It's okay, boom, in the oven it goes.
So someone that's breaking the mold.
Yeah, they're doing something different than most people's. You call up, I want a pepperoni pizza, I want half pepperoni, half sausage, or I want this, that, veggie pizza, whatever it is. You're able to pick the items you want on your pizza, and literally the hot scaled ovens they got, that thing's out like instantly. I'm like, wow, that's pretty quick. But anyway, getting back to entrepreneurship and urban entrepreneurship space, Harvard University points out the story of a young man that lost his job, was severely in debt, and the wife was really stressed out and didn't know how they were going to make it. He couldn't find a job. However, his mother was, her hobby was candles, and her birthday was like on Christmas. So he had 2 young children, and not having money and resources, this, that, and the other, decided what is he going to get his mother for Christmas, because that was also her birthday, and her hobby was she loved candles. So he just thought out of the box, literally out of the box, out of the Crayola crayon box. He took each of his kids 64 boxes of Crayola crayons, stripped all the paper, had the kids, a community project with the kids, and melted all the crayons down from both of their 64 box of Crayola crayons, took the paper off, and molded it down and melted it down and put a wick in the middle, and they had this beautiful, highly, incredibly colorful candle that he gave his mom for Christmas. She was so blown away, not only because it was a personal touch that him and the kids made it, but she'd never seen a candle that beautiful and that bright and that colorful with all these different, colors in it. And she took it to her friends who were in this candle making club, and they were just like, and all of it. This kid goes on to start the Yankee Candle Company.
Oh, wow.
And in less than 4 or 5 years, sells the company for $500 million. So he kind of stumbled on this idea, was with some candle aficionados that just thought it was just beautiful, and then gets in the candle business, by accident. So, when you think about urban entrepreneurs who are disruptors, you see the way that Uber's disrupted the taxi cab business, Airbnb's kind of disrupted the hotel, motel business, and there's a lot of things that are coming down the pipeline. It's always good to keep your ear near to those innovators that are entrepreneurs or even some small business owners to help you assist with some solutions and challenges you may have in business. I would recommend people to get involved in a local networking group. A Million Cups of Coffee, A Million Groups by the Coffee is as good as organization you can be a part of. And it's being held here locally at Rev One, which is kind of an incubator, VC.
So we're being afforded the space at Rev One to hold our weekly meetings.
Okay.
However, we switch it up here a little bit this year, and we're doing what we call a road show.
Okay.
So we're actually doing the first Monday of each month at a different location. So last year we did the Urban Entrepreneur Center. Last month. The month before
we were happy to host you right here.
Yeah, it was great. Great turnout. Everybody loved it.
Yeah.
And again, like you said, people didn't know about it, and so we're doing our part to make sure we share that knowledge and wealth. Because we aren't motivated by money or bias or anything, it's completely wide open. So we kind of bill ourselves as being the front door to entrepreneurship. We can help you learn how to present your idea, give you feedback, give you mentorship, and then we can literally give you, invites and introductions to these other resources in the community and help you along the way. So it's a very friendly ecosystem, and we, again, just build ourselves to be that first step, and then we'll help people reach out wherever.
Yeah, the thing I always like about it, when you first start out in business, entrepreneurship and business ownership is a lonely journey. Sometimes your friends and your family mean the best, but they don't want you to fail.
And they think you're crazy.
So sometimes they're not there necessarily to help you. Want you to go get a good job, a stable job, have a roof over your head, and not delve out into the unknown. I tell people that you need to be around folks that can inspire you, encourage you, motivate you, help you, assist you, mentor you in various different ways. If you want to be able to be in a space with folks that have done it before, been in those shoes before. So success leaves clues. Those of you that might be listening today, wherever city you're in, I would encourage you to be a part of a business organization or a networking organization of small business owners, entrepreneurship, and it might be the local chamber of commerce you have.
Sure.
It might be the African American chamber of commerce you have. But be focused in being in a space that you can thrive and you can feel free and comfortable in sharing your ideas and even your challenges and ask questions and also networking. You don't know who might need your product or your service or that sort of thing. But it's been great talking to you today, George.
If I could add one thing to what you just said, Sonny, I think the most important thing that I found is don't be afraid to share your idea.
Oh, absolutely.
A lot of people are afraid to share their ideas.
Yeah.
So I would say share your idea, because ideas are everywhere. It's the implementation, taking the effort to do it. Not everybody has that spunk and that passion. Sure, there's edge cases, but don't be afraid to share your idea. You don't have to give up the keys to the castle, but you need to tell people what you're trying to do if you're going to get valuable feedback on what to and what not to do. So.
That's good stuff right there. We've been talking to George Zabriskie here at the Urban Entrepreneur Center. Listen, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. You can connect with us on all the various different social networks. We're on Facebook at The Urban Entrepreneur is our Facebook page. LinkedIn, George, how can they get in touch with the Million Cups of Coffee? You got a website?
1millioncups.com. From there, you can navigate down to Columbus, or you can type in 1millioncups.com/ColumbusOH.
There you go, folks. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you back here next week with another edition of the Urban Entrepreneur Report. Thank you so much. Hey, folks, listen up. Video is the way of the future, and if you're looking for a competent and professional video production team, look no more. Arius Dumas Productions is the real deal. They have state-of-the-art equipment for photography, video recording, lighting, editing, production capabilities. Don't wait. Arius Dumas Productions is now filling up their calendar with dates, events, and engagements for this fall. They are affordable, dependable, and you'll appreciate the level of professionalism they'll use to capture photography and video footage of your next meeting, luncheon, and or event. Give them a call today. You'll be glad you did. Arius Dumas Productions. For all your photography and video needs, give them a call at 614-404-7082. That number again is 614-404-7082.